In the sun-soaked countryside of southern France, there is a mysterious house that holds a captivating tale. Once the home of David and Marie Louise, a French couple with deep passions. Marie Louise inherited the house from her grape-growing ancestors, but her path took a different turn when she met David. An obsession with collecting and trading antiques consumed them, filling their house with treasures. After his passing in 1997, Marie Louise's obsession grew even further, turning their once hospitable house into an unlivable maze of antiques. Amidst the family visits, disputes arose over the division of the belongings, fracturing their once harmonious bond. In 2006, Marie Louise's spirit departed, leaving behind the legend of the sweetest grandmother. Come with us and explore the extraordinary tale of David and Marie Louise, woven within the walls of this mythical abode.
Welcome back everybody to the Bros of Decay. I'm Leslie, behind the camera today, not Danny, but Martijn, who is joining me on a France trip, and we are filming a wonderful abandoned place in France together. Thank you Martijn for coming with me and filming with me. His link will be in the description. He's making pictures of all the locations and giving them to me, so thanks a lot. And we are filming the house of Marie Louise and David today, a true time capsule left behind for almost 2 decades. I really adore it. And first off, I want to show you their front yard over here, but also they had a little dining setup out here, little picnic setup. As you can see, a table that is still made after all this time. The seats have rusted up, as you can see, but very beautifully the plants are still on top of the table. I absolutely adore it. Martijn, I will take over the camera from you and I will take the people throughout the house. Thank you, man. Have fun. Okay, let's have a look at this place. There's also a couple of things here in the front yard that I really adore. For example, they had this washing basin over here, probably back in the time when Marie Louise, her forefathers, still lived here. This is where they would scrub their clothes and wash their clothes. You can see they have these ripples on here. There's a duck sitting there. A lot of decorational pieces also here in the front yard. And excuse me for the road behind me because it's very, very noisy. Marie Louise loved to decorate our house in every single way she could imagine. And as you can see, there's even a teddy bear left behind here in the middle of this tree in the front yard. A little sitting area down here. I don't know what is behind these curtains. Maybe that's some sort of a basement. Oh yes, there's also a basement attached to this house. Let me see if we can open that up. There's no car or anything in here anymore. That's probably where she stored all her food. You can see there's also a couple of jackets still left behind from her. Oh, and yeah, all the food she preserved over the years is still over here in the basement. That's absolutely insane. Wow. Probably here are some bottles of liquor. You can see some water and more storage over here. These beans, jeez. Wow, this is almost falling over. This plank is bending. A couple more years, this will fall to the ground. These are probably olives. Wow, it's a beautiful basement. A wine barrel standing here in the middle. So, okay, let's go further. Back into the backyard and the front yard. Wow. Now we can go have a look at the house itself. The stairs leading up to the front door, this place. And Marie Louise was the last person living in this place after her husband David passed away in 1997. And she lived here alone for 9 years. And she decorated everything to her own taste, as you can see. Lots of flowers everywhere. This was probably her seat where she sat outside, enjoyed the cars that came by, enjoyed the people that walked by. Lots of plant pots also to the side here, all across the patio for her to put plants inside. Love the yellow color as well here on the shutter. And this might have been her cat that she proudly hung up. Okay. See, we have a bell here. Does that still function? Yeah. Maybe like this. Okay, and then we can go inside of the house. It's completely open, as you can see. We can just push it open. It's a little bit stuck over those years. And then we enter into her and his forgotten time capsule. Let's close the door behind us and let's start an amazing episode. Don't close it too hard, maybe I cannot leave it anymore. Okay, and the first thing you notice when you walk into this house is the enormous clutter inside of the room, inside of the kitchen that we have in front of us here. And yes, everybody, this is the kitchen. I went around the neighborhood a little bit and I asked the neighbors about the story of Marie Louise and to see what happened inside of this house. And it was super interesting because after her husband David passed away in 1997, she started to change. She started to bring back stuff from the store she had, and she started to fill up her house with memories and ornaments and pieces of antique, and she literally filled it to the brim. You're gonna see it in a second. But they said she did it to fill some kind of void in her life of her husband David passing. And we see this a lot happening in these abandoned places, that people start hoarding stuff at the end of their life for some sort of reason. And in her reason, it was the loss of her husband. Sad, but also very beautiful memories at the same time. Let me show you this. At some points of the house, we're not gonna even be able to walk anymore. But look over here. Between the rubble that we see in front of us here used to be the kitchen of this family. That's the chair where Marie Louise always used to sit. Whenever you came to the house, that's where you would find her. That's what the people said that I talked to. And these are not just any ordinary objects. Lots of these things are porcelain, beautiful antique pieces, ceramics. I really adore it. Let's see if we can find something interesting between all of this rubble, and it's very difficult walking here as well. I think this might have been something that her grandchildren had made back in the time and gave to her. Oh, it's like a piece of cloth that they painted on. Really beautiful. This might have been a depiction of David and Marie Louise by the grandchildren. Oh, the wall over here. You see, there's even blank spots. There used to be even more pictures on this wall back in the time. This is the cat of the house. And here we can see one of the grandchildren to the side. It used to come here. Wow, and even a wedding picture behind here. Absolutely wonderful. And this is the calendar back here with the last date of the house still on it. 2006. That's when Marie Louise passed away and left this house behind forever. And even all the food products and everything is still inside of this cabinet. Even all our combs to this side as well. Wow. I love that copper plate. It's literally balanced behind there. Teapots and everything. Now we have a very small stove setup over here where she used to cook our food back in her old day. All our pots and pans and kettles are still on top of it. The kitchen is completely falling apart. Everything is still inside of it. Whenever I go through a house like this, I don't know where to even look because there are so many things to take in. It's just crazy that the children didn't come back for the stuff of their grandmother or their mother and left it all like this. Even on top of there's even more stuff left behind. Plants and plates and everything you can ever imagine. Completely covered in spiderwebs by now. Okay. This one is a statue you see a lot coming back in the country of France. And Marie Louise also really adored keeping birds. There are multiple bird cages throughout the house. There's even a very small one hanging over here in the kitchen. I think we can see one of her daughters over here holding the cat of the household. And down there, you can see them sitting at the kitchen table. Wow. That's so lovely. I think this is David getting with the daughter that's getting married. Above here we have the medical cabinet. Everything still inside of it. But let me now take you in one of the most prominent rooms of this entire household. And that's completely cluttered to the brim with stuff. It's absolutely insane. Wow, I don't even know where to start looking inside of this room. This is unlivable anymore. Like that table, this used to be the dining/living room. But the only thing that it's used for at the end of her life was to put stuff inside of. Let us start on this side of the room because there are already some very interesting things on this side. Here we have two wedding pictures. I don't know if it's of Marie Louise or of her children. And these horns above the door. Wow. They are beautiful. They look like Icelandic Viking horns or goat horns. They even had this curtain over here to shut off this section from that section. Beautiful wallpaper, but I don't know why it's in so many pieces. Have a look at it. It's all individual pieces that have been pasted on top of each other. Wow. A man riding a horse on this picture. Beautiful picture though. Maybe that's her husband David. We found clues that he might have been in the French army back in the time. And maybe that's from that time period. More beautiful things on the wall. And then, of course, these people, they were very religious back in the time. France still is and was back in the time a very religious country, and these depictions are all throughout the house. Maria in the glass casket. Beautiful. Also really adore all these plates that we have over here hanging from the wall. These look like they're all from hunting and animals. Wow. This big French life, French farming life back in the time. We have some sort of a military picture over here as well. And Marie Louise, outside of her house, but also inside of her house, really adored plants and flowers and bright and vibrant colors. So that's what she used throughout her house as well. Even more plants over here to this side. Wonderful. A baby doll. Oh, you got a picture over here. Look at this. Wow. A lady sitting in front of a television, smoking a cigarette. But I think, yeah, I'm not mistaken. Look at this. There's a television standing here in this room of the, in this corner of the room. And this corner Yeah, wow. And it's exactly the television that she's sitting in front of. Look at that. Wow. Back in time, back to the present. She was sitting right over there in front of the television. That's absolutely insane. Is there a date on it? It's from 1965. Fumé. Fumé means smoking. Fumé in front of the television. Wow. Over here we got another casket that's completely filled. All these plates and everything. And the whole table in front of us. All these soup tureens and all these porcelain pieces. Even wooden clumps. Wow. It's beautiful. The desk where she would conduct all her work on. She would work at. The phone book still left behind. What's inside of here? Oh, is this even a wallet? Oh my gosh. You're kidding me. Still seems... Wow. Still stuff inside of this wallet. I cannot really open it properly. This used to be the wallet of somebody that lived inside of the house. Oh, I have to be really careful. I'm literally bumping into stuff on every single corner of the house. Also really adore this clock face that we have over here standing on top of the bureau. Okay, let's slowly make our way further without knocking over anything inside of this place. Give you another glimpse on the things that are on the table. These are the doll lying over there on the table. See also a picture. Seems like them on a vacation somewhere. Don't know where though. And then here in the corner of the room, we come again to that television setup where the family would sit and watch television back in the time. But now that's completely impossible. Everything is covering it and there's not even a couch left in this room to sit in front of the television anymore. Wow. It's also little bit moldy inside of this house. It's falling apart. After 2 years of abandonment, two decades of abandonment, that's of course a very normal occurrence. This couch over here in front of me has completely fallen apart. Look at this doll still lying on top of here. Jeez, what a place, everybody. These look like liquor bottles we have on top of here. And then another set of pictures, memories from these people in front of the fireplace, dancing, having drinks. Another display cabinet filled with books. Wow. It's absolutely beautiful. And this butler's trolley as well over here. Even some bottles of liquor still left behind. And then everybody, we can carefully make our way through this doorway over here to the next section of this house. But I have to be super careful, as I said before, because everything has fallen over here and everything is falling over here. We have this unbelievable grandfather's clock over here in the corner of this room. The wood is molding up and it's falling apart, and even the clock face that you see in it, the wonderful clock face, is literally falling out of it and falling apart. I can see behind here we have their toilet from back in the time. It's very difficult to even look inside of it with the camera. I'm trying to give you a glimpse. It's a French style flushing toilet, as you can see. A very strange one, never seen one of those before. And there's even a wonderful mirror on the wall. But more I cannot not show you. They even had pictures in this little hallway up here. Wow, paintings, I mean. Wonderful paintings. A beautiful wallpaper as well. I think this was sort of a washing room that we have here in front of us. Nothing too interesting, I would say. Also pictures and paintings inside of this room as well. She literally had stuff all throughout her house. But I think if I can open this door up, that we are going into, whoa, here says ma chambre. That means my room. Another painting or tapestry over here. And then we can walk into ma chambre, my room. And this looks like it used to be a children's bedroom back in the time. Probably from one of the daughter of their son, of the family. But I'm not 100% sure of that. Wow, let's give you an overlook of this room. It's a very tiny bedroom that's also again completely cluttered with stuff of the former person that lived here. Again, wonderful tapestries and paintings and pictures on the wall. Here you can see a collection of family memories. There's even some pictures that have been taken. This is, for example, is taken outside on the patio of the house. 3 ladies sitting together. Isn't that just wonderful? The combs and everything still here. Little lid of something, I don't know of what. Leave the shoes and socks still inside of this nightstand. And on the ground we have multiple documents left of the family. They are very detailed, I'm not going to go too close to them. It says over there, David and Marie Louise, and there are bills that have been come to the house after they passed away. A cuckoo's clock left on the wall here. And I always adore to see these still made beds inside of these abandoned places. The pillow still at the top. You can see the plushie of the child, the horse still lying here on the bed. Absolutely incredible. They even had their own studying desk over to this side. After school they could come here, do their homework. It's a very interesting thing. It's like a little holder for papers. I like the outside, that's sort of this Arabian style. Excuse me for dropping that. Whoa, I love that vintage picture on the wall over there. All these ladies sitting together. Looks like there are 4 generations of people. Wonderful flowers as well inside of this room. Ooh, and look at this Japanese box that we have over here. There's some mechanisms. Oh, this is a little music box. Ah, this little doll would be standing back in the time on top of here. And this was the instrument that made the music back in the time. And it's completely broken, as you can see. Beautiful box though. And I think what we have over here on the bureau was the ink holder and also a little ashtray for cigarettes. Wow, beautiful mirror on the wall over here. And a very small television as well. Very small. To watch some television inside of the room at night. Let's have a look at the clothes. Here we can maybe figure out who lived inside of this room. They look like ladies' clothes on my first view. We also have a couple of purses down here. So most likely this was the daughter's bedroom back in the time. There's even more clothes to this side. The whole cabinet is still filled up. Wow, these dried up plants above there. You can also see like a pink little shirt over here. Yeah, most definitely the daughter's room of the household. Let's see what we have over here. I think this is one of the hats of the daughter. Wow. So with that little mesh in the front that they had back in those days. Lots of ashtrays throughout the house. So I think it was a big smoking family. Especially also the picture that we saw of the lady smoking in front of the television. A tapestry hanging here. A horse carriage arriving at the house. And again, a big bundle of letters directed to the family still lying there. So there's a very small picture over here on the wall. Wow. Wonderful. Okay, let's go to the next room inside of this house and let's try not to break anything going over here. I just noticed that here behind the kitchen there is another room, right behind the dress of Marie Louise that's still hanging here. It's a little bit inconspicuous between those curtains over here. I have to be careful because there is a big hole here in the floor. Let's jump over it. Let's check out this room as well. Oh my. Again, completely cluttered with stuff. Absolutely insane. And here are the other bird cages that I was talking about. There are even more upstairs, but these I hadn't even seen yet. These are huge bird cages and they probably had multiple birds living inside of this household. Wow. Let's have a look throughout this house, throughout this room. More pictures of the people that used to live here. Also a lot of sombreros from Mexico throughout this house. Wow. Ornaments and knickknacks everywhere throughout this place. We also have seen a lot of crosses coming back. Like again, very religious people that used to live here back in the time. Wonderful clock face over here as well. And this depicts an old classroom. It's this arrow here in the corner. Maybe a picture of the classrooms where the children used to go. Love these as well. Wow. Hanging in front of that tapestry. And here we see Marie Louise together with one of her grandchildren on her patio. And if you look closely, you can also see all the flowers that she used to have back in those days here in the corners. Wow, that's so wholesome and beautiful. Them drinking a nice pint somewhere. And I don't know whose bedroom this used to be. And as you can see, there are also even more dolls and plushies and everything still left here inside of this bedroom. We can definitely tell that Marie Louise was a big fan of collecting these types of dolls. Mostly they are porcelain, but I'm not sure, these could also be plastic dolls. We love this one as well. Beautiful artwork. The diploma for somebody, the 60th anniversary from something, I'm not sure. Wonderful tapestry on the wall here, depicting a French landscape. And then with these wonderful pictures of these ladies in front of it. Wow, look on the wall over there. Isn't that just magical and beautiful? One of the children of the household. It's a very big doll over there as well. Let's see to this side. Got this cabinet over here, the grand mirror. You could check out yourself in the morning when you got dressed up and got ready to leave the house. Another plushie lying behind here. And here we can see the clothes that are still inside of this cabinet. They again seem like ladies' clothes as well. Maybe Marie Louise had a lot of clothes for herself and didn't know where to store them anymore, so she just stored them in all these different rooms throughout the house. This one also has a very small television still standing here. The flowers next to it. Very colorful, beautiful flower pot as well. What's that? Oh, I just knocked over something. This looks like some sort of a lamp. Look at that. Wow, and then this is the battery underneath here. Just knocked over this beautiful vase. Let's place it back nicely. It's very difficult to traverse this house and not knock over anything. The slightest movement you make things fall over. Wow. Wonderful clock over here as well. The wood literally chipping off it. On the side of this cabinet, you also have even more pictures. Marie Louise together with the cat, a dinner party. And this is the room, this is the kitchen. And you can see this is probably from before David passed away, because inside of this picture you can see less clutter, and they had Christmas decoration there. And this is the chair that Marie Louise always used to sit in. They even have Christmas decoration outside of the house here, set up on this picture. That's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. A little vanity down here, the washing table, all the perfumes, everything still neatly there. All our belts and everything. Even more pictures. David coming down the stairs of the house, walking into the backyard. You can even see those chairs with the table that were in front of the house are still inside of this picture. Wow. Another wedding picture of a daughter or son, I'm not sure. And everything is literally covered with spider webs since those days. Beautiful cabinet over here, also completely filled with more porcelain and more things. Oh, I can even see behind there, we have some sort of a diploma, a medal of honor, it says. I don't see who it is directed to, unfortunately. And more beautiful things hanging on the wall. The flower pot. And down there, another tapestry. With even more pictures that have been made inside of this place. Wow. Ooh, very difficult to traverse. Even this blue stove. Really adore this one. Yeah. This was already a very, very interesting place, but we are only halfway by now. There's also an upper stage of this house, upper floors where the grandchildren used to sleep, and it's also super, super interesting. Let's go see over there right now. To get there, we have to make our way up this very narrow stairway here right behind the kitchen. I don't know if this has always been an upper floor. This seems like more of a stairway that leads to an attic. They lined even the walls of this stairway to the upper floor with even more pictures inside and outside of the house. You can see these pictures are all of the family having fun together, probably sitting here outside of the house. See on this side, oh, very difficult to walk here. Some cards, some wish cards. Wow, some flowers over here. Okay, let's make our way safely up these stairs to these upper floors. Ooh, super, super narrow up here. And we immediately come into some sort of a bedroom with 2 beds to either side of here. Wow, it's beautiful. The doll still standing there, or still sitting there on the bed. Probably from one of the grandchildren. Wow. The paint slowly chipping off the wall here. And this plant has been standing here for over 2 decades now, completely crumbling and decaying away. You can see there is a picture, a classroom picture over here on the wall. Wow. She probably had all these bedrooms up here for her grandchildren. Whenever they came over, they had a place to stay at Grandma's house. Look at this young man. He looks absolutely proud. All the toys and everything, and even the purses are still left here. Look at this doorway, everybody. Like I just told you before, I think this might have been an attic at some point, but when the family grew too big and there were too many grandchildren, they probably had to convert it into some sort of a sleeping area up here. This is like a sliding door, but have a look. If I just go and stand here, I'm just gonna put up the camera towards the door so you can see it, how small the entrance to this room is. If I stand here, like literally it comes, my chest comes above the doorway. I literally have to crouch to get into this room. That's super interesting. Wow. And then we have a very small bed inside here, still made with all their toys and plushies at the end of it. I think we have the same picture of this boy hanging here on the wall. Oh, it's completely decayed away. A couple of religious artifacts over here as well. And maybe this is David and Marie Louise back in the time. You can still see some pictures of them sitting on their terrace. And here's the same one of Marie Louise holding the child on the terrace. Most likely, this is Marie Louise and David when they just met each other when they were still very young. The house is unfortunately literally falling apart. The children had a dispute, they had a lot of children and grandchildren, and they cannot agree on how to divide the house. And so they are not allowed inside of it anymore because the court is dealing with it. And as you can see, this is what happens afterwards. Just, it's not worth it to fight over these kinds of things. It's not worth it to fight over money. It's better to just take the memories and appreciate that instead of the money. Wonderful cabinet. Wonderful closet, excuse me. With even more of these colorful clothes inside of it. Wow. There's even a baby's crib over here in the corner of the room. There's even a couple more rooms on these upper floors that we can have a look at. Here we come into some sort of a hallway in the middle of these upper floors. With a lot of stuff and toys and everything still left on it. We got yet another one of those very small doorways here, where I have to crouch to go underneath it. And then I end up into another attic space that I assume has never been finished. You can see the exposed bricks and the exposed tiles, roof tiles still over there. But it seems like it has also been converted into a bedroom at some point. And a desk and also a closet over here. So they definitely used it for something. Also a storage space for all kinds of random stuff. The military hat of David. Wow. Still a lot of things inside of here. And hang up some calendars here. And then most likely this was like an extra bedroom for when they really needed another bedroom inside of the house. See, it's still made with the Christmas tree standing next to it for some sort of weird reason. And the Christmas ornaments all still hanging up in here. Maybe this was the storage room for all the Christmas stuff, who knows. Stroller still standing here. The baby doll still inside. And what really interests me is these roller blades on the top floor here. Wow, they're beautiful. Very vintage roller blades. Very cool room, I would say. And a calendar from 2004. It looks like from somewhere in Iceland, or no, in America, I think. Yeah. Madagascar, it says there. Wow. Beautiful. Let me show you the last room on these upper floors here. That's this one over here at the very back. And this one seems to me like the most probably has been always a bedroom, but I'm not sure. The doorway is normal sized in this room, and there's also a normal bed inside of here. And this seems like the biggest bed inside of this house. So maybe this was Marie Louise and David, their bedroom back in the time. Very beautiful one though. Bed, a green bed sheet, still made. The doll sitting on top of it. There's even a chandelier inside of this room. Also piques my interest as the chest still in front of the bed here. See what's inside of it. A couple of cups and stuff. Wow. Military jacket. Most likely of the time that David still served in the French army. A couple of paintings. And then a religious artifact over there as well. I always find it sad to see that these paintings get devoured by Decay, and they're always the first ones to go. The Decay clearly takes up the paint and just destroys the paintings. That should never happen. And here we have yet another sombrero inside of this house. That's crazy. Wow. Cabinet with all these books. Look at this one. That's a very, very old book. Looks like a dictionary or an encyclopedia. Yeah. Really love it, how it's been kept together through all that time. Wonderful picture of a lady outside somewhere. And this was a very famous picture in the house of this young boy. He has been coming back for the 3rd time already. Even more vintage pictures over here. And yet another bird cage. Wow. I really, really enjoyed going through this house and seeing everything. It's also very sad seeing everything behind like this. You can literally see there are cracks in the ceiling here where you can look outside and it's gonna fall down in a couple of years from now. Very sad truth. You can also see there's a little encampment over here. I stored some stuff. Yeah, some books and stuff. Okay, absolutely wonderful. Wow, what a wonderful place of Marie Louise and David that we just filmed. I really adored this house, and it's absolutely crazy to see how a person changes after leaving or after losing somebody in their lives. I want to thank them, I want to thank Marie Louise, I want to thank David, I want to thank Martijn behind the camera. What an awesome episode. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and write a nice comment in the comment section. There's also a link in the description for Patreon. There you can support the channel and help us go around the world. With that all said, I want to thank you so much, and I'll see you next week in another epic episode. Bye bye, I love you.